When we were growing up, there is something funny that used to happen. And that funny thing was ASK show, Agricultural Society of Kenya show. It was meant to be an agricultural thing where you are supposed to go there and be taught planting and maybe animal. But I can assure you that over 90% of our age mate liked going to the shows, but found little or no time going to the stalls that were run or owned by agricultural people. Equivalent to Safari Rally, we liked going to show. But different from Safari Rally used to happen once in a year. But ASK, there used to be several. But I think 3 or 4 were the ones which were liked. Of course, Nairobi show at Jamhuri Park was liked. Kakamega show, Mombasa show, and Kisumu show. And what did we used to go to do there? Mostly music, rumba. Rumba. If you look, and then there was this somebody who used to, he was called D.S. Njoroge. Yeah, he was called D.S. Njoroge. He had some of these loudest music instruments, and we could go there, dance. And the funny thing is, I remember, entering while you're in uniform, you used to pay less. And when you go to those areas that there was D.S. Njoroge, you would find students in uniform not sober. Another thing that was famous during the show was betting. Karata. You go to a place where there are so many things and you pay an equivalent money, and up there is, those days there were no dudhi, or dudhis were made for rich people. So there used to be a bicycle there and so many great things. But let me tell you a secret. Those people who did those made sure that the big prizes, such as bicycles and so on, and even radio cassettes and whatever, were not included in that. You'd buy a ticket and get 2 or 3 sweets or a spoon or something. One day, by then I was still a student, one day detectives went to one of those places. They locked that place, chased everybody, remained with the workers, and said, "Can you open all the receipts?" You see, the interest here was, let's say they buy things worth 1 million shillings, but they sell tickets worth 2 million. That is what was there on paper. Nowadays, every betting is written, controlled by betting and licensing board, something like that. During our time, there was no such a thing. I've never betted. If there is a number of bettings I've done in my life, they cannot reach 20, and I'll tell you which they are. But those days they used to do that. They used to give the impression that the prize money was about 1 million and the tickets were 2 million. But what they used to do was they made sure that 90% of the tickets were for sweets, spoons, and such, and even exercise book, 48-page exercise book. So one time, the CID went there, opened all those papers, found none was having that. All of them were having small they insisted that presents should be at least a fraction, let's say 10%. So they placed their things, uh, made sure that some of the tickets had the real presents. These crooks, what they did was they organized for to have their own crooks. So when the people are having the opening up the papers and whatever, one person won a bicycle, and he was given a bicycle, and a lot of people are called, mnaona, mnasemaga sisi ni waongo. Angalia, huyu ameshinda baiskeli. They greeted him, posed for some pictures, gave him a bicycle to go. But where he was going, he had been followed by crooks hired by these bettors, the betting people. So they snatched the bicycle, and suddenly bullets rented the air. And unknown to the unknown, the young man who won the bicycle did not know that crooks hired by the betting shop were following him. And what the crooks did not know was that the CID was monitoring everything. From the time they made sure that one of the tickets had a bicycle there, they monitored everything. And even when the boy was given a bicycle, they followed him clandestinely. Is it clandestine? Covertly. Clandestine is a bad word. They followed him covertly, and they followed those crooks covertly. So when these fellows saw that he was out of the showground and he was along Jamhuri Road, as they did that, these CID officers came out, shot in the air. Those crooks went away, left the bicycle. The CID people came with a Land Rover, took the shaken boy and his bicycle, placed him inside the Land Rover, and asked him where he stayed. He directed them to where he used to stay, and they escorted him safely. But mostly showground for students was drinking and playing music. Then the army people, military people had also their... Actually, most of the drinking used to happen at the military camp, because even the military had their own tents whereby they used to sell alcohol. And briefly, that is how shows were during our time.